Ho, 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 BHD Army. It is not Christmas. I've just called three of you specifically whores. But today we're here to watch... I don't know what that was. Today we're here to watch 5 scary Ouija board stories, and it is by Mr. Nightmare. If you guys want to watch the original video, the link will be in the description down below. It leads to Mr. Nightmare's channel. Make sure to subscribe to him. Watch all of his other fucking scary story videos because the man is damn good at what he does. Now, as you guys already know, we have to chop parts out, you know, so that way if you want to watch the whole video, the link's in the description. Fuck, we just broke that. Shit. Alright, and we're back. I hope these work now, because I thought I broke them. Make sure to follow me on Instagram as well. That's just important. Links in the description. As a black man, I feel that I'm fucking all the way up right now, because specifically, I do not fuck with Ouija boards. I don't do it. You know, this is the quickest way to start a fight is to ask me to use a Ouija board with you. I'll beat your ass with all of the wood on it. Please no jump scares.
Ever since I can remember, we've always had one of those old vintage Parker Brother Ouija boards sitting in our closet collecting dust. Until one day I found out what a Ouija board really is, and immediately dug it out of the closet. I insisted on my brother trying it out with me, and eventually got him to play along.
Really, motherfuckers?
We put our hands on the planchette, and I began asking the typical cliche questions like, is there anybody there? And, can you answer me?
Really, motherfuckers?
I did a little research that night to find out how to make Ouija boards work.
Fucking up.
Many people said online that the most ideal environment when using a Ouija board is in a dark room only lit by candles.
No.
So when my parents weren't home, I managed to gather like 6 or 7 candles and convinced my brother to try it one more time.
It's not a good idea.
I lit the candles and set them around the table in the dining room with all the lights out. We tried one more time. I asked again if there was anybody there. The planchette began to move. I told my brother to stop moving it, but he swore he wasn't. I told him to move his hand away, and he did. It kept moving. My brother thought I was messing with him, but I didn't pay attention.
Fucking up.
The planchette landed on the word yes. I was only 9, so I was legitimately shitting myself. My older brother had to take over. He asked the question, are you a good spirit? There was a 5-second pause before my brother's hand moved along with the planchette to the word no.
Oh.
We both looked at each other.
No.
And at this point, I ran to my room and shut the door behind me.
No.
But he continued on with the so-called game. I heard his muffled voice come from down in the dining room, when all of a sudden I heard him screaming at the top of his lungs. I ran back downstairs to see what was wrong.
The fuck I would've. Nope, that's when I packed my bag. That's when I grabbed me probably a couple of bottles of juice. I get my PS4 and I go out the 4th story window, never to return. I'll live at a bus stop, goddammit. You just brought ghosts into your home. You're butt fucked. Butt fucked for life. Never get away. You seen Paranormal Activity? You about that life? Well, you are now. Nope. Nope.
He was holding up his shirt, revealing a small open wound that almost looked like a claw mark. He told me to set the fireplace immediately, and I obeyed. He threw the thing in the fireplace and told me to never speak of what happened to anybody. We have never used a Ouija board since.
No, you think? Most people don't need to get stabbed or assaulted by a ghost in order to know not to fuck with Ouija boards. Come on, bitch. Damn it. I'd dump my girlfriend if I ever caught her using one. That's real. Instant grounds for termination. Denied. It's over now. Nope.
I got a call from my cousin who said that he, his brother, his dad, and his best friend were using a Ouija board in their basement.
Don't call me, nigga. You're instantly unfriended on Facebook. You call me talking about some, hey, but you know what the way this call would go if it's in real life? Hey, man. Hey, man, what you doing? Oh, word? Yeah, I'm just over here using the Ouija board. Hello? 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 That's end the conversation. That is it. You never get another answer from me. Nope. Not friends.
My cousin took a short break because the board was just spouting nonsense and he had to go to the bathroom. His dad and brother and friends started asking the board questions without him. One of the questions was, who is in the other room? It just started spouting random numbers. At this point, they tell the entity they're communicating with to prove itself. It then spelled out the word doll, and they immediately got a bad feeling. They opened the door to check on the porcelain doll they had laid in the other room, and when they opened the door, the doll was standing up right in front of the door, staring at them. Everyone freaked out and ran out of the house. His best friend burned the Ouija board, and I think he temporarily went nuts for a few months. My cousin, for some reason, then joined the Air Force, and is on a base in Europe now.
Oh, why would you do that? If some supernatural shit that can move a doll. You know what I haven't done in a while? Die in the Air Force. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go to Air Force and die. That's a good idea.
I asked the board when I will die, and the piece started slowly moving to the letter T. I laughed, looking at my friend, thinking it was him, but he just told me that he thought it was me, and then I realized that it was spelling out the word tomorrow. My friend let go of it, and it stopped moving, so I was convinced that it was him, but he swore left and right it wasn't him. But here's where it gets horrifying. The next day, while walking my dog to the preserve, my dog's collar suddenly snaps and he was free from the leash. He darted into the road and I immediately chased after him, only to hear the horn of an oncoming car blaring and getting louder. I dove as fast as I could out of the way, just barely grazing the car with my foot as it passed. But it didn't end there. The same day, while sitting under the ceiling fan in the kitchen on full blast, I got up to get something out of the fridge, and behind me, I heard a loud crashing sound as all the glass on the table was shattered and everything fell onto the floor. The fan had fallen off the ceiling, and I was inches away from being decapitated. All I know is I'm never touching a Ouija board again.
Good fucking choice. How did he escape those near-death situations if it says you're gonna die tomorrow? And secondly, motherfucking, I love my cats. I love animals in general. If your leash snaps and your first fucking inclination is to run into the middle of busy traffic, well then damn it, you must just not want to live. I take that as my dog not wanting to live in this cruel world anymore and wanting to get out of it. And I'm not gonna go with it. That's all on him. I'm not going to. It's not gonna be me.
I have never really told people about this. We had a huge closet full of old board games, and one of them happened to be a Ouija board. It might have been pathetic that I was more excited to try out a Ouija board than to party with friends while the house was empty.
Yo, yeah, pretty pathetic.
The weather was terrible, windy and rainy, but I felt that a rainy night would actually make it more ritualistic.
Motherfucker, really? There's no way this man graduated. You gotta be real dumb, motherfucker. Oh yeah, dark, raining, and storming is the night to use a Ouija board. This nigga's never seen scary movies before. Fucking up.
Around midnight, I set up the board in my dining room and dimmed the lights.
No.
I asked a bunch of questions that generated no answers, so I eventually put the board away and went to bed. I woke up in the middle of the night to hear a creaking noise downstairs by the front door.
No.
Another creaking sound, this time from one of the stairs. I was sure somebody was in my house. This was before cell phones were mainstream, so calling the police wasn't even an option. The creaking sounds were getting closer until they were right outside my door, and then they just stopped. It felt like hours while I laid there clutching my covers, waiting for something to happen. A huge strike of lightning.
Damn it! Shit! Fucking jump scares. These stories don't need sound effects. Damn it!
Momentarily lit up my bedroom, and I swore I could see some kind of black limb-type objects wrapped around the open door. I tried to hold my breath to be as quiet as possible, but what happened next was the worst part. My door suddenly slammed shut, and I couldn't help but let out a shriek. By now I was completely under my covers, shaking and crying and wanting to scream. All the windows in the house were closed, so there was no draft. I just knew something was going to happen. When the sun started to rise, I finally snuck a peek out of my covers. My room was just as empty as before. I somehow found the courage to leave my bedroom and search for any signs of a break-in. Everything looked normal though. No broken windows or unlocked doors. I then spotted the Ouija board on the table again. I have always been kind of superstitious, so I immediately linked the happenings to the Ouija board. I chucked the damn thing in the outside trash can and brought it out front to the curb. Since then, nothing has happened, and I didn't tell anybody about it. You wouldn't understand unless you were in that kind of situation. Then you would agree that nobody would believe a word you say. Nobody really knows except for the people that read my story online. I know for a fact that those events were linked to the Ouija board.
Yep, and that, my friends, is why I don't fuck with supernatural shit. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, the link is in the description down below. It leads to Mr. Nightmare's channel. Also, you guys already know, we tend to chop parts out of the video. So if you want to go watch the entire thing, make sure to go watch it on Mr. Nightmare's channel via the link in the description down below. Subscribe to him, watch some of his other scary stories, hopefully with lights on. Or as always, Blastphamoushd. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter.